back. Any questions, information available to you, but you had to have a high willingness to learn. You had to have a high willingness to learn, which means you're going to have to be willing to give up the thing you love, time and money. You know, how do you determine what is your willingness to learn? I think one of the easiest ways, as I mentioned, is, you know, are you willing to give up something you love? If you love golf, if you love TV, are you willing to give that up to learn this?
But there's something else. Are you willing to give up money? And I'm going to talk about why that's really significant if you're willing to give up some money to learn this information and get educated, because that really determines how high your willingness to learn is and how teachable you are. And then, of course, what is your willingness to accept change? You know, this information can be radically different than what you've thought about in the past, but be willing to really accept change and do things different and think things different is going to create different results. So we've talked about, any other comments, questions? Okay, good. We've talked about how the universe works. Everything's made up of energy that vibrates at different frequencies. That's all everything is, including us. That our brains can transmit and do transmit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, frequencies. We have the ability to choose those frequencies, and we have the ability to determine the power and intensity of the frequency and the duration that frequency is being broadcast. Now, how long is that frequency being broadcast? So when we put out a frequency, if we increase the power and intensity and increase the duration in which that frequency is broadcast, then a matching frequency will come to us like a magnet, like as fast as you can imagine. Because when we put out a frequency with our brain, with power and intensity, over a long duration, then everything on the planet and everything in the universe is working together to match that frequency and bring it to you. And it will happen incredibly fast. With practice, when you get to unconscious competence, it'll happen faster and faster and faster. You'll be able to dial in the frequency exactly the way you want. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Increase the power and intensity and keep the duration long enough so that it activates everything in the universe so that it draws to you like a magnet and comes rushing towards you. Think about it this way. What you want wants you. What you want wants you. And all you have to do is activate it, and it comes rushing to you. There's a magnetic pull. You can attract money like a magnet. You can attract your lover, the best relationship like a magnet. You can attract things into your existence, friends, social status, accolades, success, achievement, happiness, bliss. You can attract anything and everything you want. You can be, do, or have anything you want. As Napoleon Hill said, anything the mind of man can conceive, which means anything you can dream, anything you can imagine, anything you can desire. Napoleon Hill said, anything the mind of man can conceive, comma, and bring itself to believe, comma, it can achieve. Which means any and everything you can dream of, any and every desire, anything and everything you want to be, do, or have, if you believe, which we'll talk about, that's a key element, you will have it. Method in which that is achieved enough, and it will come rushing toward you. It has to by law. It's the law of attraction, which is senior to the law of gravity or any law in the physical universe. It's how everything works. You cannot deny it. You can't scientifically foo-foo it away. Quite the opposite. Every bit of scientific evidence and proof shows it works. And again, you now have the luxury that I have had where you can see physical evidence that it works and meet real people. And not just, you know, Joe Smith who runs the diner or the dry cleaner or a very successful teacher. And there's nothing wrong with those people or professions because they may be using this technique as well. But you're looking at people who have used this not only with themselves but their families. And some of the people here in the room, the royal families here, which we're grateful are here, through, you know, decades and decades and decades, you know, in ruling lands. I mean, this is something is passed down generationally. So this is something that really works. Now, Napoleon Hill, I mentioned his story, how he learned this from Andrew Carnegie at the turn of the century, the richest man in the world. He puts it this way. He said the key to success is one thing. One, define your dream. That's number one. Define your dream. Now what that means is it means clearly know or define what you want. So in order for you to achieve things in your life, you need to know what you want. You go to a restaurant and get the menu. You need to decide what you want so you can order it. You can just say, bring me some food, because you may want food. That's fine. You'll get some food. But it may not be exactly to your liking. But if you want something specific, you can ask for something specific in the restaurant, order it, and it will come to you. Life is the same way. Define your dream. Determine and define exactly what you want. That's the first thing he said. He said the key that he learned from Carnegie was define your dream. And then secondly, get a burning desire for its achievement. Again, this was language back at the turn of the century, so I'm going to kind of translate. And I'm sorry I'm translating in English for those of you whose first language here is not English. Define your dream. Determine exactly what you want, clearly identify what you want, and then get a burning desire for its achievement. So the question is, what is the definition of burning desire? What is the definition of define your dream? We're going to talk about that. So how do we get a burning desire? How do we define our dream? We're going to talk about this. And this is really a key element. Now we're getting into kind of the specific techniques on how to apply the basic principle, which is use your brain, transmit a frequency with power and intensity, keep that transmission over a long duration, and then it will come. Now there's one thing, if you do that, there's one thing that could hinder it, which we'll talk about later, but let's just talk about how Napoleon Hill defined those mechanics in English, which is define your dream. So let's put it now into real working practice. First off, if you go to any success seminar or read any of the success books, again, I think you'll find now that many of them are misguided and wrong because they may give you some elements of what we're teaching here, but also other elements that basically make it not work. You're getting a recipe. This recipe works all the time when followed. If you start changing the recipe, if you start changing the ingredients, adding or subtracting ingredients, or changing the proportion of ingredients, or change the order in which the ingredients are mixed together, you're not going to get the same result. So we're giving you the pure secret recipe that has never been released to the public, with all of the ingredients in the exact proportion. Now you can read thousands of books and you can get bits and pieces, but there isn't one out there that gives that myself or any of the people here, my colleagues, have been exposed to that give this exact recipe. Therefore, the evidence also shows that there's nothing else out there that has delivered these results. The speed and effectiveness in terms of getting results that you want, getting what you want fast with less effort. This is it. First, define your dream. Now, before we talk about defining your dream, when I say that, people start thinking, I want a car, I want a house, I want a better job, I want to hit the lottery, I want to travel all over the world, I want a better relationship, I want a relationship, I want to have a better relationship with my kids, I want to have a better social standing, I want to lose weight, I want to get rid of my illness, I want better health. All these different dreams come. But there's one thing that is senior to everything when it's define your dream. And it's the one thing that we are going to be focusing on as our template. It's the most important thing. That is this. Number one. Always the most important. And that is this. You must always have as a goal, and it is your goal subconsciously anyway, but you must always have to feel
All right, familia, what's up? Grand Rising and happy Thursday. If everybody can hear me and see me good, can I please get a 1 in the chat box? We are starting right on time here today. And I'm super, super excited to be here with each and every single one of you guys. So let me know in the chat box if you guys can hear me and see me good. Just want to make sure. Amazing. Let's go. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for hopping on, today's Monday morning session. I'm super blessed and very excited. Today's January 5th, and it is 7:17 a.m. here in San Diego. I know it's 10:17 back home. It's actually my last day in San Diego. I'm actually going to be headed back to New York for a few days before I head back out again. I'm actually going to Sweden next Thursday. I'm going to be in Sweden, which I'm very excited about. And then I come back and then we go to Miami for Break the Code. And it's just super, super valuable. A lot of traveling in January this month, places I gotta go to, but everything has been feeling amazing. Everything has been working in our favor. I'm very grateful. The team is super excited. The calls, the trainings, the people, the community, everybody's just so excited. Everybody's vibrating high, everybody feeling great. And it's a wealthy way to start the year. And I'm excited for every single person that's on this call. I want to thank you guys all for the love, the support, and everything that, you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis. I hope that you guys are starting off a great year. We're only 5 days into the new year, and I'm hoping that every single one of you guys are having a great start to your new year, because I know how important it is to start the new year the right way. And I hope that you guys are really taking advantage of this new year, new energy, new me, because you really could. If there's one thing that I know for a fact that people can do, is they can take advantage of the new year, new me energy. And I have for the last 5 years. Don't feel bad for wanting to take advantage of it. You should want a new you. You should want a different perspective, a life change, and you shouldn't feel bad for wanting that. Okay, guys. So as long as you stay true to what it is that you say you're gonna do, then you're in amazing hands. But with that being said, let's get right into today's call. Before we do so, as you guys know, I love to express some gratitude. I believe that gratitude is the source where all good things come from. So let's express some gratitude. Let us know in the chat box, what is one thing that you guys are grateful for on this beautiful Thursday morning. Let us know in the chat box. I'm going live on IG as well today, making sure that everybody gets the value as well. But what's one thing that you guys are grateful for on this beautiful Thursday morning? I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family, my mother, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughters, and my godson. I'm extremely grateful for, my team and the leaders within my organization. I'm grateful for everything that is happening in our lives right now. We are all in massive momentum. We are running the play more than we've ever ran the play. We feel good. We feel amazing. So I'm just grateful for our health. I'm grateful for, our minds. I'm grateful for the community, the unity that we have as a team. I'm grateful for all the lessons I've learned. I'm grateful for what I was going to say. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for this San Diego trip. The San Diego trip has been amazing. And I'm just super, super blessed. So the best student, 2023. What y'all say, mommy? So just gratitude all the way around. I've been practicing a lot of gratitude, making sure that I stay as present as I can and just everything that has been going on in my life. And this year is amazing already, and I cannot wait for you guys to see what the rest of the year has in store for us as well. So let's get started with today's call. I know that we have a really good call ahead of us, and I hope you guys are ready. So today's call is going to be called the best student of 2023. Okay, the best student of 2023. Now, I want you guys to really write this down. I need you guys to take notes, okay? Because I know that on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about the story. Now, if you did your story, write it down real quick. If you did your story, put a 2 in the chat box if you wrote down your 2023 story already. I want to know who did it. I want to see who's actually taking it serious to write down their story. All right, who actually took it serious and wrote down their story for 2023? Because at the end of the day, like I said again, it's January 5th, and we all need to know what our story for the rest of the year is going to be. Okay, so have you written down your story for 2023? Do you know what you're going to accomplish this year? Do you know what your goals are? Do you understand what direction you're headed in? Do you know who you're going to work with, who you're going to become, what you're going to read? Like, I want you to really, really take it extremely serious when it comes to this. I think that it'll be very important for everybody to do this. And my story is so beautiful, yo. Like, that's amazing. I keep adding to it. That's what it's all about. I did it 3 times since November. That's what you want to do. You want to get in the habit of doing that. And somebody says, Nano, I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't hop on, and that's fine. So if you weren't on the call, what we ask people to do on Tuesday is we want you to make sure that you write down a story in the perspective that you already accomplished it. So for example, write down your 2023 story from the perspective that it's already December 31st of the end of the year. So if you just, for example, let's say today was December 31st, 2023. What's your story? What did you accomplish? What did you do? Did you become a better person? Did you hit your rank? What's your goal? Did you move out of your parents' house? Were you able to make that certain amount of money? Like, write it down in the perspective that you already did it. And how does that sound? Like, just for my people who didn't do it. For example, if I wrote down the letter from my perspective, let's say I was somebody here, I would write it down in a way where I would be like, congratulations, Nano. I am so proud of you. You just had the best year ever this year, 2023. You accomplished all your goals. You became a multiple 6-figure earner. You moved out of your parents' house. You were able to get your dream car. You're driving around in your dream car. You were able to get in the best shape of your life. You went to the gym every day. You read over 20 books this year. Like, really sitting down and creating the story that you want to live in your mind for 2023 and write it down. Like, if you already did it, like if it was already done, write it down. It already happened, right? Remember, because whatever story you tell yourself over and over and over again, you will get yourself to believe. This could be the year that you have your biggest breakthroughs, that you travel to different countries, that you attract, the biggest leaders into your business. Maybe you attract the dream relationship that you want into your life. Like, this could be that year. Okay, so I want you to write that down. I want you to believe in it. I want you to write it down. And like I said this, okay, you want to read it to yourself every day, twice a day, once in the morning, once in the night. Remember, it doesn't take any time to read your story. Once you've written down your story, it'll take you less than 5 minutes to read your story. So the more that you tell yourself that story, even if you don't believe it right away, even if it may be so far-fetched, even if it's been 3 months down the road and nothing has showed up and it doesn't look like it's going to happen, keep reading it, keep talking about it, keep reading it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. I'm telling you, this works. I am telling you guys that this works. And what I would recommend that you add in your story, add obviously what you want to do personally, what you want to do with your business, what you want to do if you have a team, an organization, what do you want to do with your family? What do you want to do with God? Include these areas in your story. Make it a good, beautiful story. And I don't care if it's 2 pages long, 5 pages, 10 pages. The more detailed it is, the more involved and detailed it is, the better it's going to be. And I promise you guys, if you write down your story, look, just so that you guys kind of have an idea of some of the sections that you should add to your story. Okay, this is not even part of the training for today, but I just want to remind you guys, because this is just so powerful that we must all include this in our story. So for your 2023 story, okay, 2023 story topics, okay, you should do a personal. And what do I mean by personal? It's like, what do you want to do personally when it comes to you, your morning routine, your health, the gym, your eating habits? Like, what do you want to do for you, right? Because at the end of the day, we got to make sure that, we work on ourselves. So what is your 2023 story for you? Then, you add business in there. Okay, you want to add, for my traders, for my people trading / investing, add what you're going to be doing when it comes to trading and investing. Add in there what you're going to do for your team, the people in your team. Remember, it's not about what you do for you, it's also about what you do for others. So what are you going to do for people on your team, people in your organization, people in your life? That's very important. Social media. Okay, I always tell you guys, our social media is our online resume. Okay, so what are you doing this year in your social media? How many followers are you going to get to? How many reels? How many IG lives? What other, social media platforms are you going to get into? Are you going to get into TikTok? Are you going to get into Snapchat, Facebook, all these great social media platforms? Which one are you going to do? You see, this is very, very important that everybody understands this. Okay. So you set goals for social media, right? For me, my goal on social media this year is I want to get verified. I want to have over 100,000 followers. I want to, make an extra $50,000 a year from posting reels. Like I'm looking to really expand myself when it comes to the social media game. So this is another thing that I added to my story. And this is even for the people who already wrote down their stories, who are like, man, I didn't include this stuff. Let me include this as well. All right. Social media. And then I put like family. What do you want to do with your family this year? Something I want to do with my family this year is I want to make sure that, I take them on some trips. I pay for everything that they need, so on and so forth. Relationships. Okay. Relationships. All right. Relationships are very important. What's going to be, your goal for your relationships? And remember, this is not in any particular order. Okay, this is not in any particular order. I'm just putting it down here. So what is your goal with your relationships? Not only the relationship with, your friends and your family, but also your significant other. What is your goal with that? What do you want to do this year? Is this going to be the year where you improve your relationship? Is this going to be the year where you get married, you get engaged, you move in somewhere together, you travel more with your significant other, you have a healthier and peaceful relationship filled with more love? Like, it's important to set goals and create a story for your relationship as well. So I have a great story for my relationship as well. And the last thing I would say is probably God. Okay, what's going to be your story when it comes to God this year? Are you going to go to church more? Are you going to tithe more? Are you going to give more? Are you going to involve prayer more in, your day-to-day? So this is something that I think that, if you sit down and you create a story with some of these topics in them. And obviously it's open to include anything else that you want. This is just me giving you guys a template. Run it up and read this story to yourself. What are you going to accomplish in your business? What are you going to accomplish with trading? What are you going to accomplish with your team, your social media, your family, relationships, God? Like, really, really get deep down and hit every topic as you go. Okay, this is what I'm going to do personally this year. Boom, 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 boom. This is what I'm going to do in my business this year. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, everything, get real deep with it. Okay. So if everybody is clear on this, can I get a 23 in the chat box if we are all clear on what we got to do when it comes to writing down our story in 2023? And I'm only reminding you guys so that you don't forget, because I know some people were on the call, but they didn't write it down. They didn't do it. Guys, take the time. Like I said, take 15 minutes, 30 minutes out of your day. These 15 to 30 minutes out of your day will be more valuable than almost anything that you do all year, because this is your story. And whatever story you get yourself to believe, you will achieve. And it could be, listen to me, guys, it could be a good story. It could be a bad story. If you get yourself to believe that story, that's the story you're going to live. So pick a story, write it down. And like I said, write it down in the perspective that it already happened. So you're not writing it down as I want to accomplish this, or I want to make six figures. No, you're writing it down in the perspective that you already did it. Congratulations, Imani. You just became a multiple six-figure earner. Like, you're congratulating yourself. You're happy for yourself. Congratulations, Iman. Wow, you did it. You made multiple six figures this year. You're in the best shape that you've ever been. You read over 20 books. You invested over $20,000 into your self-help and growth. You traveled to multiple different cities and countries, learning from different people. You built a great business. Your health is at the top shape that it's ever been. Like, write it down, like, see it, feel it, like that's what it takes right there. Okay, guys. So we talked about that on Tuesday, and I don't want to talk about it no more, because I could literally, I could run a whole training on this all over again because of how important it is to create your story. Understand, last thing I'm going to say is this: everything that you're living right now and everything that you've lived up until this very moment right here has all been because of the story that you told yourself. All true facts. Whatever story you tell yourself, whatever voice is continuously speaking to you and the voice that you're continuously listening to, okay, you got to understand that up until this very point, Thursday, January 5th at 10:32 a.m. Eastern time, okay, on this beautiful Thursday morning, up until this very moment, all right, everything that has happened to you has been because of the story that you tell yourself. So whether you're happy with where you are, whether you're not satisfied with where you are, everything has happened up until this very moment based off of the story you have told yourself. Okay, so it's important that everybody here understands that. Okay, it's important that you understand that about your story. Your story is everything. So take the time to do it. I am very excited for my story in 2023 when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to God, when it comes to my business, when it comes to my personal life, when it comes to, my relationship, man, this year is going to be so big for my relationship. This year is going to be so big for my business. This year is going to be so big for so many amazing areas in my life. So I'm excited for it. I know that this is going to be a great year for me. And I already wrote down the story in this area. So now it's about me reading it twice a day, every day. So every day when I wake up, and I've been doing it, you wake up, you read the story. Before you go to bed, you read the story. And eventually you tell yourself these things enough, you read that story enough, eventually you're going to know the story. Think about it. So eventually you read that story enough. Like, I already know how my story kind of starts. I could kind of reiterate the first, maybe like the first 5 or 6 lines. But as you get deeper in the story, you're going to remember the story. You're going to be able to tell this story without you even seeing it in paper. Like, it's going to get to the point where you have read the story so many times that you're going to know the story off the top of your head, like if it was a song. Imagine if you knew your 2023 story like you know your favorite song. Imagine that. Imagine if you knew your 2023 story like you knew the song. It'll change everything for you. Because now, if you tell your story enough, it'll change your life. And I love what Joy Ricketts said. He said, I listened to my story because I recorded it. Sheesh. If you want to take it to another level, that would be it right there. I would say, write it down, read it twice a day, and record it and listen to it throughout the day. Maybe if you could, if I don't know if you guys could do this. I know you can, obviously, but if you could kind of put it like in intervals where let's say your story, when you read it to yourself, is 5 minutes. And then what you could do in your own voice, you obviously read your story. I love this, bro. You just gave me such a fire idea, Ricketts. I'm so glad you gave me that idea, because Bob Proctor says to do this, right? You take that story, and I'm gonna find out with somebody. I'm gonna find out with my brother Adam or somebody, record it. But like, let's say it's a 5-minute story. I want to take the 5 minutes and repeat them over and over and over and over again, like for maybe like a 6-hour interval while I'm sleeping. So like every 5 minutes, my story restarts. Boom, boom. And it's just repeating my story over and over and over and over and over and over and over to me while I'm sleeping. Like, think about how powerful that would be, you know, with some good beats behind it. I'm gonna find out how we could do that, because that'll be dope. Like, I'm telling you, that'll be incredible, because yo, it can happen. Guys, I am telling you, everything I have today is because of the story I told myself. I lived on the beach because of the story I told myself. I spoke on stages all around the world because of the stories I told myself. I've made the money that I've made up until this day because of the stories that I've told myself. The people that are in my life, my mentors, the connections, the places I've been able to go to, has all been because of the stories that I've told myself. I know that sounds incredible, but it's so true. This could be the year that changes it all for you. This could be the year that changes everything for you. And there's going to be certain things this year that you're going to have to focus on more than others for those things to be able to change for you. I know what area in my life I'm going to focus on majority of the year that's going to help me accomplish everything else in my life. You should know what's that area for you as well. Okay. It's very, very important. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Now let's talk about our training for today. That was just like an intro. There was a quick intro. Okay. But like I said, real quick, just check them off one by one: business, trading, investing, team, social media, family, your relationships, and God. Check those off, run it up, and let's get this going. Okay, now let's talk about being the best student in 2023. All right. Now, how do we become the best student in 2023? Now, why did I choose to do this training? Okay, because I said, all right, I'm very strategic with my training. So I want you guys to know I never just do a training to do a training. I always love to think about, okay, how can I build on the training that we did last week or that we did last call? So since last call, we talked about a story and how to create a great story for ourselves. I said, okay, what can I do this call that can help everybody else out? And I was thinking, and I was sitting in, you know, just chilling here, and I'm like, okay, perfect. I got it. And in order for everybody to get what they want this year, they're going to have to be great students. And I sat there and I said, how can I make everybody on the call the best students in 2023? How can you be the best student in 2023? That's the name of the game. Because I'm telling you guys right here, in life, it's about, if you want to be a great teacher, you have to be a good student. If you want to be a great leader, you got to be a great follower. All right. So it's important that we all understand how to become a really, really good student. And if I'm honest with you guys, one of the reasons why my success has been incredible this year and the years prior is because I'm a great student. Okay, I am the best student in every room that I walk in. I've always been like that since I was in school. I was always the guy in school. I don't know about you guys. I would always love to sit in the front. I was the teacher's pet. I loved to participate. I loved participating. Like I used to make people feel so uncomfortable because I always knew all the answers. I was always the one that would love to participate. And when the teacher would ask, does anybody want to come up here and do it on the, and do it in front of the classroom? I would always be the first one to raise my hand. Yes, I always loved to be in front of the classroom. I always loved to participate, ask questions. I was always the kid too. I was always super extra as well. Just so you guys kind of know who Student Nano was. I would always be the one to ask for extra credit. Like after the test, if I got like an 80 or like a B, I would be like, hey, ma'am, like I want you to know that I take this class very serious, and I want to get a, and I want to get an A in this class. And I was just wondering if there's extra credit that I can do. I'm willing to write a paper. I'm willing to, stay after class and do whatever it takes. But, what can I do to become, an A+ student in your class? And I would show them the interest that I wanted to be that A+ student. And guys, as crazy as it may sound, I was also a class clown because I used to love to make jokes. So a lot of teachers also didn't know what to do with me because I also used to misbehave sometimes in school. But then I was also the best student. So think about that. I was the kid that would misbehave in school, but I would also be, one of the smartest students. Like people would cheat off of me. Like I was the one that would give people the answers. Like honestly, like you see how you would want to sit next to the smartest guy in the classroom? Like I was one of those people, honestly. Like I was one of the people that people would sit next to, like, yo, let's go sit next to Nano today, man, because we know he got it, but then, they would return the favor in other classes. Like I sucked in history, right? I sucked at history, like history and like social studies and that kind of stuff. My stuff was math, and my thing was math and science. Like when it came to math and science and chemistry and algebra and all that stuff, I was really good at it. Okay, but I was a great student. Now, how do you become the best student in 2023 when it comes to business? Let's talk about this, okay? Let's not get off topic here. I just want to let you guys know a little bit about who I was. Number one, how do you become the best student? Number one thing you got to do is you got to be coachable. All right, what do I mean by coachable? You got to have high teachability index, okay? Any mentor, anybody will tell you, all right? Anybody will tell you that being coachable is probably the top characteristic that any student can have in business. Okay, this is so important. This is so important right here, guys. If you want to be your best student in 2023, you have to be coachable. Okay, you got to make sure that coachability is the most important thing that you have in your application. Now, what is your teachability index? Your teachability index is determined by willingness to learn, as you guys know, and willingness to accept change. So this year in particular, you have to, and you must, okay, be willing to learn more than ever. What does that mean? Jumping on Mornings with Nano, studying more than you've ever studied, reading those books, listening to those audios, going to events, okay? Another thing, like, willing to invest back into yourself as well. Because think about it. A lot of us are on this call, right? We have, let me see. We have a total of, 300 plus people on this call with YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, everything. We have over 300 plus people. But on MMX, we only have 50 to 60 people, which tells me that there is a good amount of people that have a low willingness to learn because they're not willing to invest $100 into themselves a month for 12 calls that gives them access to an incredible amount of things. So guys, having MMX shows that you have high willingness to learn, that you're willing to invest back into your education, not just with me, but with all the other great leaders that come with the MMX platform, okay? Mornings with Nano now is only twice a week on YouTube. You can only get it for free twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if you wanted to get it where you're getting it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and on top of that, you get access to Inner Circle, you get access to events, merch, retreats, investment opportunities, book ideas, all of these great things that also come with the Inner Circle, guys, $100 a month to have that kind of access is unbelievable. So if you're not yet in the MMX platform, right, I would highly recommend that if you want to have a high willingness to learn, MMX would be a great place for you to start with, because the information that I teach on these calls, the information that I teach in MMX, guys, I want you all to understand this is information that people paid hundreds and thousands of dollars for. Hundreds and thousands of dollars, and you're only paying $100 a month. Like, for example, right, there's a Bob Proctor program I have access to. Okay. I remember when I started it, if I'm not mistaken, I remember I was doing this back in what year was it? This was 2020. Okay. I was a part of this program. It was called Thinking into Results. I know there's a few people that I know that were in it with me. I know Katie was in it with me, and Jason Stone, a few other people. That right there, if I'm not mistaken, was a $5,000 program. $5,000 program that we had access to. And I was teaching from that $5,000 program all the trainings all for free on Mornings with Nano. And still to this day, still teach them. It was $6,000 back then. Millionaire Makers know. So think about it. If you pay $100 a month for 12 months, you only paid $1,200. That wouldn't have even covered a quarter of it. Think about that. If you want to sign up for it, if you guys want to sign up for MMX, contact me on the Mornings with Nano Instagram page. Okay, contact me on the Mornings with Nano Instagram page. But what I'm saying with this is you got to have a willingness to learn, and a willingness to learn has to do with investing back into yourself. Okay, because that shows high willingness. Buying books, guys, I've bought so many books in my lifetime. Investing into courses is so important. Okay, doing these things are very, very key when it comes to your success. All right, you have to have a high willingness to learn, but not just learn. You have to have the high willingness to accept change. Right, I can tell you guys right now, there's nothing more frustrating as a mentor than a student who is not willing to apply the information that they're learning. Okay, think about this. If you do have MMX package, how do you get into the Inner Circle? Reach out to Jasmine on the Mornings with Nano Instagram page, and she will get you guys plugged in if you already have MMX. Okay, but to continue here, guys, we gotta make sure that we have a high willingness to accept change, especially this year. Like, this has to be the year that you accept change more than you've ever did. Like, you are applying information in your life more than you've ever done this year, because that is going to be the only way that you get to where you want to go to this year. You're going to have a high willingness to accept change. You got to be extremely, extremely coachable this year. All right. Which is very, very important. All right. So that's the first thing that you have to do to be the best student in 2022. Type a 1 in the chat box if I can count on you to be coachable the whole year of 2023. If you're going to be coachable all of 2023, if you're going to have a high willingness to accept change in 2023, if you're going to be willing to accept change and learn a lot this year, let me know in the chat box if this is going to be your year on that. Okay, because I'm excited to hear that. Now let's go to number 2. Number 2 is self-accountability. Right? Self-accountability. All right. Now, this is also very important. One thing about people in general is that, and I've realized this, especially in entrepreneurship. I want you guys to listen to me very closely here. Okay. In entrepreneurship, there has been a, how do I say the word? What word am I looking for? There has been like a culture in a way, or a way of people thinking where, you know, you got to think about it. Most people that do entrepreneurship usually were working jobs before this, or they were at home with their families. and their whole lives, they've been held accountable by other people. At your job, you're held accountable by your boss, by your manager. At home, you're held accountable by your parents, your family members. In relationships, you're held accountable by your significant other, or so on and so forth. Okay. But if you want to be the best student, you have to be self-accountable. And a lot of people lack self-accountability because if you think about it, your whole life, the accountability has came from other people. Really sit down and think about it for real. Like, think about how much accountability has came from other people. This is even from me. I remember when I first joined entrepreneurship, I sucked at entrepreneurship because I sucked at being self-accountable, because my whole life I was being held accountable by my teachers in school. I was being held accountable by my coaches in baseball, and I was being held accountable by my parents. So when it came time for Nano to be held accountable and me to hold my own self accountable, I sucked at it. I'll be honest with you guys. I was not good at holding myself accountable because my whole life, my mom held me accountable, my dad held me accountable, my coaches held me accountable, and my teachers held me accountable. So I never had to hold myself accountable because my teachers did it. My teachers did it. So now I join entrepreneurship, I join network marketing, and nobody's holding me accountable. No, it almost seems like nobody cares in a way. Like, yo, it's either you do it or you don't. And it is like that. In this business, it's like that. It's either you do it or you don't. And if you don't do it, it's like, it's almost to the point where nobody cares if you don't. Like, you'd be lucky if you find somebody in your life that holds you accountable. If you can find somebody in your business or a mentor that holds you accountable, you are lucky. Because most people in this business don't have anybody to hold them accountable. This is why I don't really like when a mentor holds someone accountable and then the person takes it in a disrespectful way or they feel some kind of way. Yo, bro, you lucky that you have somebody that even cares. Sis, I promise you, most people out there don't care if you make it or not. So if you have someone in your life that is telling you like, hey, why aren't you jumping on this call? Why aren't you participating in the group chat? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Yo, you should be blessed and giving thanks to God that you have people in your life that actually care. Because most people don't have that. I could tell you that right now. I spent the first 2 years in this business with no accountability partner. And I see so many people complain like, yo, this person is always telling me to jump on calls. This person is always calling me to tell me what I'm not doing and this and that. And I'm like, yo, who else is calling you to tell you these things? Oh, nobody. So shouldn't you be grateful that you have somebody that's actually calling you to tell you that you're slacking off? But yeah, bro, I don't want people telling me that I'm slack. Bro, but what do you want people to tell you? That you're doing a great job? No, bro, you're slacking off, sis. You're slacking off. You need to show up. You're being held accountable. Lucky you that you have somebody that holds you accountable. If anything, you should be holding your own self accountable. And honestly, guys, when I started to hold my own self accountable, that's when I became the strongest version of myself. Because remember, guys, as mentors, I can't always be there to hold you accountable. So the best student holds himself accountable, holds herself accountable. Yo, I'm not doing my morning routine. I need to start showing up. Yo, I haven't been going to sleep, and doing my night routine. I got to start doing my own night routine. I haven't been taking the time to study an hour a day. I got to hold myself accountable. I haven't been going to the gym. I haven't been, eating the correct foods. I haven't been studying. I haven't been participating in the chats. I haven't been doing this. I haven't been doing that. You have to be the one that holds yourself accountable and tell yourself like, yo, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I need to fix that. Because if you don't take care of yourself, no one will take care of you. And if you have an accountability partner, it's great. I love it. All right. But if you don't, one of the most powerful things that you can do as a student is hold yourself accountable. As an example, we're 5 days into the new year, right? Yo, you should be able to look at yourself right now and be like, yo, I'm 5 days into the new year. All right. What have I done that I said I was going to do? And what haven't I done that I said I was going to do? And you should hold yourself accountable. Yo, I said I was going to go to the gym this year, and it's 5 days into the new year and I haven't gone. I said that I was going to read more this year, but it's 5 days into the new year and I haven't picked up a book. I said I was going to study more this year, and it's 5 days into the new year and I've only studied 1 hour out of 5 days. I said I was going to jump on mornings with Nano more. I said I was going to do this more. I said I was going to do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, but I haven't done it. That accountability is what you need. And sometimes you need to be hard on yourself, because sometimes you're not going to have anybody to be hard on you. This is how you're going to be the best student in 2023. Because like I said, right, look, guys, I'm a mentor to so many. I can't hold 500 plus people accountable. Can I hold you accountable? All right, in certain areas. And whenever we do talk, can I, and if I see it, can I hold you accountable? Yes. But you should never wait for your mentor to hold you accountable. I don't wait for Matt to hold me accountable. I hold myself accountable. Don't wait for people to hold you accountable on the things that you already should be doing. How you want people to hold you accountable on things that you already should be doing? That doesn't make any sense. If you know you're supposed to be doing those things, then why do you need other people to hold you accountable? Why do you need for somebody to call you out? And trust me, you don't want me on your back. I know you don't want me on your back, because it's not easy. People say, I want Nano's mentorship until it's time to get Nano's mentorship. A lot of people don't be ready for that kind of mentorship. Because I teach very calm, but when I hold you accountable, the personal mentorship is a lot different. So you got to be self-accountable, guys. I'm telling you, this is the key. The reason why the people that mentor me love me is because they know, yo, I don't have to hold Nano accountable. Nano checks himself. Nano holds himself accountable, and he leads by example. Okay, he leads by example. So self-accountability is massive this year when it comes to being the student. Number 3 is trusting the process. Okay. Oh my God, I cannot talk enough about this right here. Okay. I cannot talk enough about this. I know you're a tough cookie. Nah, I'm not 6'4". I'm 6'1", 1.5. I almost reached 6'2". But there's not a better feeling in the world than when you know that your student is trusting the process. There's nothing better. Honestly, as a mentor, there is no better feeling in the world than when you know that your mentee or your student is trusting the process, that they understand that they're going to have to go through ups and downs and struggles and days when it sucks and days when, you know, nobody responds back to their messages, and months where they make no money, and, you know, family issues and all of that, but they still are trusting the process. Do you understand how valuable this is? Okay. Do you understand how valuable it is as a student, and for the mentor to know that, yo, my student is trusting the process. He's learning, she's learning. They understand the challenges that come, because the worst thing a mentor wants is a student that's not trusting the process. They're always worried. They're always complaining. They're always, oh my God, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why is this happening to me? Why do I keep losing trades? Why can't this happen for me? And then they quit, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and you can't find them anywhere because they're going through life, and this happened and that happened, and they end up quitting because they're not trusting the process. They're not trusting the process. I'm telling you guys right now, one of the best feelings for a mentor is to know that his students and his mentees are trusting the process. There's nothing better, because they know that they're not attached to the current process, right? They are detached from it. They understand that, hey, this business is going to come with ups and downs. This business is going to come with challenges. This business is going to come with days that are good. It's going to come with days that are character building. There's going to be days I win. There's going to be days I take lessons. There's going to be days where everything goes my way. There's going to be days that things don't go my way. There's going to be days I feel good. There's going to be days I feel frustrated. But understanding that even though you're going through all of that, you're still trusting the process. You're not giving up. You're not allowing it to get the best of you. Let me move this over here because I have to put my laptop to charge really quick. All right. And it's really understanding that. Yo, guys, I'm telling you, I know how good my mentor, Matt, feels that he knows that I trust this process. There's no more relieving feeling in the world or a better feeling from a mentor when you could kind of take a deep breath and be like, man, I'm so glad that this guy trusts the process. Because the last thing you want is for people to leave, for people to quit. And not because it's going to affect you financially. It's because you want to see that person win. You want to see that person retire their family. You want to see that person hit their goals. But the fact that they're not allowing themselves to trust the process sometimes hurts them more than anything else. Right? And that is so important. That is so important. This is part of the process. You know, somebody in the chat box said, Nano, tell us a time when you almost gave up but trusted the process. That's a great question. Well, the first time I was I wouldn't say I was going to give up, but it was hard for me was when I first hit my 6-figure income. I hit the 6-figure income in my business. Okay. And 2 months later, I lost it. And I was like, wait, so I worked 2 years plus to get to a 6-figure income. And then I lose it 2 months later. So I went from making $10,000 to $12,000 a month to making $600 to $1,000 a month. And at that point, you know, it was hard for me because I was like, bro, it took me 2 years to get there. Like, damn, bro, I can't believe I lost my income. Like, I lost my team, like my leaders, people that I believed in. Everybody left. Only a few people stayed with me during that time. I remember my sis Julie, who's here, was here with me. But majority of the people who are on my team now, they weren't there when that happened. Majority, there's only a few people. This was back in 2019. A lot of the people I have now were the newer team that I built started 2020. But yo, I remember going through that and I remember thinking about it like, yo, Nano, you got to think about this. This is a 10 to 20 year plan. You're only in year 2. So this is part of the process that you have to go through to get to where you want to go to year 10, year 15, year 20. So, bro, just trust it. Hey, if it happened, it was supposed to happen. It's better that it happened now, 2 years into your journey, than if it happened 10 years into your journey and you lost millions. You only lost a few $100,000, and that's okay. I remember talking to myself. I remember writing it in my journal, like, Nano, you just got to trust the process. Like, yo, I know it's hard, bro. You just went from paying your mom's bills to not being able to pay them anymore. You don't think that's hard? You know, you just went from making, you know, $12,000 a month to making $1,000 a month. That means that every month that I wasn't making my income, I was missing out on $11,000 every single month. And guess what? Now I had 6-figure bills. I had 6-figure bills now because since I was a 6-figure earner, you know, my bills and my expenses went up. And now I had all of those expenses and I had to do my best to keep up with them when I was making only $1,000 a month. You know how hard that was? You know how much debt I went into? You know how shot my credit went? I had a 730 credit score. My credit score after that went all the way down to 500. You know why? Because I couldn't even make credit card payments because my credit card payments were $250 plus. And I'm like, if I pay that, I'm not going to have no money for the week. So I'm not paying my credit card. And you know how long I had to do that for? For 6 months, I had to be that way until I was able to gain myself back and put myself back in position. It took me 6 months to get back up there. But for those 6 months, guys, I struggled. I went through it. But guess what I was doing? I was trusting the process. I was trusting the process. I said, Nano, you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And then guess what? I got my income back, and I've never lost it since then. Since summer of 2020, I've never lost my income since then. No, this was 2021. I'm lying, 2021. Never lost it since then. Actually, it was 2020. It was 2020. I'm lying. In July of 2020, I got it back, and I lost it in October of 2019. So it was like 7 months later. True story. True story. But look, if I would have never did that, imagine if I would have quit. Look at everything that wouldn't have happened for me. Guys, we're in 2023. That was back in 2020 that happened, 2019. Look at how much has happened since then. Look at the amount of countries I traveled to. Look at the amount of people we've impacted. Now I'm an educator for the company. I'm making more money than I've ever made. Dude, just this month, bro, I was looking at this, today, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, bro, just now back then I had 2 streams of income. Now today I have 6 to 7 streams of income. I have money coming in from all areas. But back then I didn't believe. You know what I'm saying? Like back then I could have quit, but because I trusted the process, I understood that, yo, Nano, no matter what you're going through, you got to keep going. And I've gone through tough times, just like all of us here. I've gone through hard times, like times that you guys wouldn't even imagine, where I've cried myself to sleep every night because I didn't know if I was going to make it. I didn't know if I was going to actually quit. And I said, you know what? No, keep going. I believe in you. Keep going. And you know what's funny? Now, when I look back, I'm like, yo, I needed to go through that, because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be as strong as I am. I wouldn't be as willing as I am. So the best thing that you could do in 2023 to be the best student is you got to show your mentor that you trust the process regardless of what you go through. That's so important. All right, number 4, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes, okay? We started at 11. We started at 20. All right, this one is so key. Ask intentional questions. Oh my God. All right. Everybody do me a favor. Can we type TTP in the chat box real quick? TTP, which means trust the process. If you are going to trust the process this year, type TTP in the chat box, please. All right. And shout out to my brother Fads for the TTP family, but trust the process, TTP. All right. But that's number 3. All right. If you're going to trust the process, type a TTP for me. Now, number 4, as a student, guys, this is so important. This is so important. Number 4 is you must ask intentional questions. That's number 4. Ask intentional questions. You got to ask intentional questions. If you want to be the best student in 2023 for your mentor, you got to ask questions, family. You got to ask questions, and they have to be intentional questions. They have to be intentional questions. You can tell a lot about a person and their preparation based off of the questions that they ask you. You know that I've learned that because I was listening to this audio by Mark Cuban. And he says in the audio that he says he can tell a lot by a person by the questions that they ask, because, they said, no question is a stupid question, which is true. But he said, you can tell a lot in the business world about a person's preparation based off of the questions that they asked. Okay, so listen to that again. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Asking is asking. Ask questions. But mentors, always remember this, especially high-level mentors, and I can tell you guys this from experience, they can tell a lot about your preparation as a student based off of the questions that you're asking. Always remember that. That's a good tip to remember, us as leaders. They can tell how prepared you are based off of the questions that you're asking. Elizabeth asked a great question. She said, explain the meaning of intentional questions. What I mean by intentional questions is questions that you actually took the time to think about before you asked them. So it wasn't just a, hey, how do you get to the next level type of question? Or how do I become disciplined? How do I work on my discipline? Like, those are not intentional questions. Those are simple questions. Those are not questions that have intention behind it. Now, Nano, can you give me an example of an intentional question? I'll give you guys a great example. Okay. No. And that's a beautiful question, Elizabeth. So I'm glad that you asked it, right? Sometimes, Elizabeth, we go through things in life, right? And obviously, let's say an unintentional question would be like, hey, how do I get to the next level? If you were to come up to me and you were to be like, Nano, how do I get to the next level? Now, that's such an open question, right? I could tell you so many things, right? But if you actually sit down and you're intentional about it and you're like, Nano, let's say, for example, this is the example of an intentional question. Nano, I've been doing this business now as an example, right? I've been doing this business for 3 months and I have found it that, you know, the way that I'm doing things right now, it's actually not working for me. So I want to know, what are some steps that you took on a day-to-day basis in order for you to reach the next level in your life? Or what were certain books or certain audios that allowed you to see further into the next level in your life? Because I want to get to the next level, but I feel like I'm stuck here. What are books that you've read? What are audios that you've listened to? Or what is some good advice that you could give me on how I can elevate myself to that next level? Okay. You see, there was more intention behind that. You wanted to know more. There was more detail there. But if you just come up to me and ask me, hey, how do I get to the next level? That's not as intentional. But if you come up to me and you're asking me for books, you're asking me, you know, for audios that I've listened to, you asking me, you know, about certain things, and you're getting deeper into the questions, right? That's better. You know, for example, another one, my brother Alex called me the other day, right? Look at how dope this is. This is why I have a lot of respect for Alex. Alex called me the other day, and he was one of 10 people who won a incentive to work with Matt Rosa in January for an event that we're going to. So he was one of the 10 people that won. And he called me. And one of the things that I had told him, I was like, yo, before you guys come out to this event, start thinking of some questions that you guys want to ask me or Matt or any of the chairmen that are going to be out here. He calls me and he tells me, yo, Nano, I know you told us about asking questions, but he was like, bro, if you were me, what kind of questions would you ask Matt? What kind of questions would you ask the other chairman leaders? Like, how can I be more intentional about the questions that I ask these people while I'm out in Miami? The fact that he called me to do that showed me how serious he was about asking intentional questions. You see how different people would have just showed up and just, but he literally he called me. He took the time and was like, bro, what kind of questions should I be asking? What are intentional questions that I should ask? That is so important, because intentional questions are key. Because if you're more intentional with your questions, you know what that means? The answer is going to be more intentional. And sometimes the answers that you're looking for is what's going to give you everything that you want. So him asking me that tells me that he's going to show up to Miami with intentional questions, which means he's going to get intentional answers, which means he's going to get intentional action steps that he's going to be able to take up to be able to take now intentional action. So look at how that works. Intentional questions lead to intentional answers. Intentional answers are going to lead to intentional action steps. Intentional action steps are going to lead to intentional results. That's how it works. That's how it works. Intentional question, intentional answer. Intentional answer is going to lead to an intentional action steps. And intentional action steps are going to lead to intentional results. You want intentional results in 2023? You got to ask intentional questions. You got to ask intentional questions. Next time we do a Mornings with Nano Q&A, I'm going to let you guys know ahead of time so that when you do ask me questions, you ask me intentional questions. That's the key. Ask intentional questions. Okay, so that's number 4. And then number 5, all right, is important. All right, we're only doing 2 more and we're done. Okay. Right? Something I like to teach people is be a copycat with your own sauce. To be a great student, you got to be a good copycat. You have to be a good copycat. You got to be able to copy other people and take certain bits and pieces from other people and make it your own. Take a little bit from this person, take a little bit from that person, take a little bit from this person, from that person, from this person, from that person, and then add your own sauce. That's what I did. I took a little bit from Matt. I took a little bit from Jason, from Darwin, from Alex Morton, from Bob Proctor, from this person, from that person. I took a little bit of everybody. I copied a little bit of everything that they did, and then I added and sprinkled a little bit of nano sauce on it. Yo, that's mad important right there. To be a good student, you got to be able to learn from others. I don't want any of my students to just learn from Nano. No, take what you can from me, right? Listen, guys, look, I'm not the best. I'm not the most talented person, right? Let's all be honest. I'm not the best at everything. I can help you out a lot with mindset, but I may not be the best when it comes to e-commerce. I may not be the best when it comes to, teaching you about finances or organization or certain things. So you take what you can from me. Okay, boom. I took this from Nano. All right, great. I'm going to take this from this person. I'm going to take that from that person. When you learn that, that is what's going to change you. Okay. For example, I have mentors. I have mentors that I know that they're the best at network marketing. I go to them for network marketing advice and mindset. I know that this person is great for trading, so I'm going to go for him for trading. I know that this person is good for e-commerce. I'm going to go to them for e-commerce. I know that this person is great with, building a relationship with God and everything, and I'm going to go to that person. I'm not going to expect one person to do everything for me. No, it's not like that. And if you look at me, I'm not that person either. Look, I'm really good at a lot of things, but let me tell you why. It's because I am the master at leveraging. I am a master leverager, and I live by the quote that says, you don't need to know all the answers. You just got to be surrounded by them. Guys, I don't know all the answers, but I am surrounded by all of them. Okay. I could tell you guys right now, I am really, really good at when it comes to teaching mindset, when it comes to network marketing. I would say that those are 2 of my biggest strengths, like really, really good when it comes to strengths. All right. But when it comes to crypto, I know about crypto and NFTs, but I'm not the best at it. So I will leverage somebody around me, right? I'm not the best when it comes to trading. I'm a good trader. I can trade, I can make money, but I'm not a master trader. So when it comes to that, I can leverage somebody else. When it comes to e-commerce, yes, I know I have my own e-commerce store. Dude, I've made $1,000, in the last 5 days to start the year in e-commerce, but I leverage my mentor, Christopher Reef. I leverage everybody around me. I leverage what I'm really, really good at, and then I delegate what I'm not. You learn how to do that? Yo, guys, I'm telling you, your whole life will change. If you learn how to leverage your strengths and delegate the things that you're not so good at, trust me, the amount of success that you would see this year would be incredible. I'm not the best when it comes to credit, when it comes to getting my credit fixed, but guess what? I know somebody that does. I'm not the best when it comes to, other things, but guess what? I know who is. I'm not the best when it comes to my nutrition, but I know a nutritionist that can help me. I'm not the best when it comes to being my own gym trainer, and being my own personal trainer, but guess what? I know the trainer who does. So I leverage what I'm good at, which is what? Mindset, network marketing. I get really, really good at this. I make my money through this, everything. And then I delegate who I'm not good at. That right there has made me so successful in life. That's number 5. And then the last one, number 6, so we can get out of here. All right, is show up no matter what. You got to show up no matter what, fam. Okay, guys, you got to show up no matter what. No matter what. That's the last one. You have to show up no matter what. No matter what, you have to show up. Every single day, you have to show up. This is a non-negotiable. If you want to be the best student, you got to show up when it rains. You got to show up when it snows. You got to show up when it's snowing outside. You got to show up even on the days where nobody else shows up. You know, in school, remember in school when they were half-a-days and people didn't like to show up on the half-a-days because it was parent-teacher conference on those days. And a lot of people didn't like to go to school on those days and just kind of take the day off on those days. No, even on those days, I want you to show up. Every single day you show up. You're going through life, show up. Things are happening in your life, show up. You took a loss, show up. Every day, show up, show up, show up, show up, show up. No excuses. There's nothing better than a teacher looking at his student and being like, wow, this girl, this guy has showed up every single day. They have showed up every day. You remember those days in school when it would snow or it would rain and attendance was much lower, but you would look at the kids in the room and be like, wow, these kids actually showed up. It's the same thing. Here, you show up no matter what. You want to be a good student, no matter what you go, and I understand, guys, look, if there's anybody that can tell you guys that I know it's hard, it's me. I've been through some tough times, fam. I'll be honest with you guys. And even recently, I went through some difficult times. But guess what, guys? I showed up on Mornings with Nano every day. I showed up for my team every single day, no matter how hard it was. I was having a conversation with my sis Jasmine too, just recently, like within the last 3 weeks. I've told her like, yo, we're being challenged, but yo, sis, we got to keep going. We got to show up. And she's like, yeah, I know, Nano, but it's hard. And I'm like, I know, sis, it's hard for me too, but we got to show up. These are text messages that we have sent each other. Like within the last 3 weeks, like, yo, it's hard, but yo, we got to go. We got to show up. We got to be there. We got to be able to put those stuff aside. We got to show up because we are leaders. That's what it takes. We signed up for this. This is what we signed up for. So no matter what we're going through, we got to be able to show up because we got to be the examples. We can't tell people to show up on the tough days. And then when things get tough for us, we're not showing up. That's not a great example. We got to show up. We got to go. And it doesn't matter how hard it's gotten. We go. And yeah, you could take a day off, maybe 1 or 2 and come back. But the last thing you want to do is take the week off, take the month off, take the year off. That's the last thing you want to do. Sometimes you may need a day. Sometimes you may need 2 days. Sometimes, guys, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm going through so much stuff mentally that I can't wait till Friday for the week to end. And just for me to be able to take, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to just relax my mind and be away from certain things because there's just so much going on, to be honest. But yo, when it comes to showing up, I show up Monday through Friday. And I show up with a smile on my face, regardless of what's happening in my life. I always show up. I'm serious, bro. There's times that I'm like, man, I can't wait for Friday so I can just relax my mind and just chill and not have to worry about the business. But there's times that everything is working in my favor. And like Nick said, I can't wait till Monday to start again. So, regardless, you have to show up. When it's good, when it's bad, when it's always a showing up game. All right, so these are the 6 steps and the 6 characteristics that everyone here can take to become the best student in 2023. If you want to be the best student in 2023, this is what it's all about right here. Okay, so type a 6 in the chat box if you guys got value from today's call. All right. Sorry if I went a little bit over. I know that, I started talking about the story at the beginning. I wanted to finish at the hour, but because I did like basically 2 trainings within one, I went a little bit over. I wanted to finish at the hour. So the trainings could be shorter. But if you guys got value from this, like I said, to be the best student in 2023, here it goes. Number one, you got to be coachable. Number two, you got to be self-accountable. Number three, you have to trust the process. Number four, you got to ask intentional questions. Number five, you got to be a copycat with your own sauce. And number six, you got to show up no matter what. All right, guys, that right there is the end of the call. I want to thank you guys all very much for taking the time to jump on today's Mornings with Nano session. I am forever grateful for this team, for this family, for everything that we've created for ourselves each and every single day. And I'm just very, very grateful that you guys are in my life. I love all of you so very much. I'm going to type my Instagram right here in the chat box. So if you guys want to give me a follow, feel free to do so. I'm going to make sure that, you know, you guys follow me. So my Instagram is at Long Live Nano. Okay. Long Live Nano is my Instagram right here. Last things I'm going to say is this: Long Live Nano is my Instagram. This is my Mornings with Nano Instagram right here. So if you guys want to give me a follow, if you guys want to get added to the MMX family, please reach out to Jasmine on the Mornings with Nano page. Me and her both manage that page, and I will make sure that you guys get plugged in. Let's set up a day to get you set up. You don't have to get started today, but let's set up a week, next week, the week after that, whatever it is. Let's make sure we get you there. If you guys haven't gotten your Mornings with Nano journals, here are the links for the Mornings with Nano journals. Remember, the Mornings with Nano journals are a great place to keep all of your things all together, so that way we can, you know, just show love to the family. There's trainings in there. There's goal cards for the 2023 in there. There's all the things that you need, goals, all of that great stuff in that journal. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. My goal for 2023 is to get to 100,000 subscribers. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to do it. Okay. So, yeah, and that's everything. Honestly, guys, that's everything right there. Stay tuned. We have a lot of great things already in the works. Big calls coming up, big news coming up that's coming out with Mornings with Nano that you guys are, I can't wait for you guys to hear from. Events, trainings, retreats, merch, all of it. It's all in the works, fam. So I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys all so much. I'm going to do a quick prayer for us, and then we're going to wrap it up right there. All right, fam. So everybody bow your heads and let's do a quick prayer. Father God, we want to start off by saying thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful Thursday morning, that you gave us a chance to wake up and serve our purpose. We are so thankful for the continuous support and love that you continue to pour into us. We feel so grateful every single day because the guidance that you're giving us is one of a kind. You're really teaching us how to become the best versions of ourselves. You're giving us all the tips and tricks that we need to have the biggest year of our lives. And this is only the second training of the year on YouTube, and we've already gotten so much value from it. We've already gotten so much insight and ideas on what we're going to do this year to be the best versions of ourselves. And today you gave us a great one. You helped us understand the importance of being a great follower so that we can all be great leaders at some point. And we all understand now what it is that we must do to be those great stewardships. So we love you so much, Father. Thank you for all that you're continuing to do for us. Thank you for your health. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for keeping us healthy. Thank you for always creating this incredible community that's built with you in the center. We are all so thankful for you, Father. So we pray for more blessings, more guidance, more abundance, more wisdom, and we ask that you continue to guide us in this path, Father. So we love you and we appreciate you. In God's name we pray. Amen. 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 All right. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And with that being said, guys, that wraps up today's call. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to jump on this call with me on this beautiful Thursday morning. I hope you guys all have a blessed rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow on MMX, and I'll be back home in New York City. I'm flying back to New York today.